Is Moira being hunted by a vengeful Wolverine, or is the truth much more complicated than that? Let's hop into the pages of X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we rejoin the book, we check back on in with Moira McTaggart. She's still on the run following her expulsion from Krakoa, as well as multiple attempts on her life from Mystique, who is still seeking to settle scores from Inferno and beyond. Moira actually is reduced to robbing a gas station just for enough money to keep her going for a few more days. It's also revealed in a conversation with Moira's doctor, Jane Foster, that the blood cancer that is slowly but surely killing her right now is different than any other cancer Jane has ever seen. It's almost as if the cancer cells have some strange sort of floral signature attached to them, you know, like something you would find on an island. Oh geez, is Krakoa trying to kill her too on top of everyone else? And when I say everyone else, I really do mean everyone else. Last issue, Moira had to duck the advances of the X-Desk, and now there seems to be a mysterious new Wolverine running around as well. We had seen this mysterious Wolverine with Warlock-style tech exit a weird pod on the island, but surprise, surprise, Wolverine isn't staying on the island. He's leaving and dukes it out with some shark fishermen. At first, Jean Grey actually thought she was going insane by seeing this weirder version of Wolverine, but now everyone is beginning to realize just how real all of this is. In the appendices, we see that Sage ran some tests on the vocal clips they were able to gather from this other Wolverine, and well, they think that it may have something to do with the Phalanx. Though whether or not this new tech Wolverine is working for or against the Phalanx is still yet to be seen. The next time we see Moira, she's decided to bed down in a dingy motel for the night with only a bottle of whiskey to keep her company. She waxes poetically about just how much has changed with her and mutant kind over the span of just a few days before she was Krakoa's secret weapon, whose future insights were the ultimate ace in the hole for building this brand new nation, but now she's been kicked out of Paradise, a place that she herself tried to build, and now they're trying to silence her. Moira refuses to give up though, saying that she's died far too much and put way too much of herself into Krakoa to let Mystique take it all away from her. How dedicated is she from escaping Mystique? Well, you remember how Cypher gave her a fancy new Warlock arm to replace the one that Mystique cut off? It was a nice gesture on Doug's part, but it was also a way for mutant kind to continue to keep tabs on Moira even if she wasn't one of them anymore. It's because of that Moira decides that she's going to cut it off to throw Mystique off her scent. Wow, how many people can say they got the same arm cut off twice within the span of only a few days? Moira decides to leave the severed arm in her room and sets a trap for Mystique, who was only ever just a couple steps behind her. Moira might not be immortal anymore, but she still learned quite a few tricks during her multiple lives, and one of them seems to be bomb crafting. What's even better about this whole Mystique trying to track down her great white whale in Moira is apparently her lover Destiny told her not to do it. But when old Raven sets her mind to something, nothing is going to deter her. Even if it means dying along the way, Moira might not be immortal anymore, but the people after her certainly are, which, you know, makes the whole thing a little unfair, yeah? Back on Krakoa, Forge and the others run some tests on that weird pod that Warlock Wolverine came in. Structurally, it definitely seems to be a piece of Krakoa, but one much older than anything else on the island currently. It also doesn't take a super genius like Forge to figure out that this is probably some sort of bioorganic time travel device. But from where and when, though, is the real million-dollar question. Now, Moira's blown-up motel room actually ends up becoming quite the hot destination as time-traveling Warlock Wolverine shows up there too in the aftermath. It seems that he was always tracking Moira's Warlock arm, but the question still remains, was he trying to track Moira, or was the arm his ultimate goal? Hell, we're even reminded of that clearly evil tech startup company and their attempts to try and elevate humanity through mechanical means. As the comic comes to a close, we see Moira has actually been watching Wolverine this whole time through the lens of a sniper rifle. She says that despite her best efforts, the dark future that she always attempted to stop has seemed to have come anyway, and early no less. And so that was X Deaths of Wolverine issue number 2, an issue with a lot more questions than actual answers. There's certainly some fun juxtaposition to be had between this and X Lives of Wolverine. In that book, Wolverine is jumping through time trying to save someone, and here in this book, Wolverine seems to be doing the hunting. I don't know if I've quite made up my mind about Moira as a protagonist so far. Again, there was a couple years there where she was essentially the true secret evil power behind Krakoa. Yes, her motivations may have been altruistic, but the results certainly weren't good, and even now she certainly seems to have good intentions in mind, but I'm still not actually certain if I should be rooting for her to escape evil time-traveling Wolverine, or if I should be rooting for evil time-traveling Wolverine to get her. Beyond that, this second issue was honestly a lot like the first issue. Moira runs away and tries to stay a couple steps ahead of the people who are trying to kill her. It's Terminator, but with mutants. It's certainly a song that the X-Men books have played before, but it always ends up sounding pretty good, and I did think this one was pretty good, if not necessarily amazing. Overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.